We're live. Well, look at that. I've got Magic Will Middleton here with me, and my name is Kurt. We will be here for the next hour or so talking all things LifterLMS, some things WordPress, and maybe just hanging out for a while if people fail to put in comments and questions. If you come to this, or if you're watching live on any of these channels, we could be Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, X. I think we're even on Twitch. I can't even remember if we're on Twitch or not. Anyway, if you see us live, jump into the comments. Tell us who you are, where you're from. And if you have any questions about using LifterLMS, we would love to entertain you with our version of an answer, possibly a screen share, and maybe just share a little bit of the wealth and knowledge we've accumulated over the last few years on the platform. With that, Magic Will, how the heck are you, man?
Doing all right. Waking up, especially early for me, 9 a.m. in order to do the LifterLMS free sales call. I'm curious. You and me did a transfer at the beginning of the year with LearnDash to Lifter. Was the site owner named David?
Yes, it was.
Okay, that's who I was. I'm talking to the person on the last call who I did the transfer for, because I was like, "You did a transfer at the start of the year." I'm like, "Did you use transfers?" Like, I don't know. Kurt did it, and I'm like, "It's like it was earlier this year." I'm like. And then I put it together at the end of the call. I'm like, wait, you were that person?
You're that person. Nice. Did he say happy things?
Oh, yeah. He said great things about Lifter. He's loved the extendability of the platform and hasn't been able to find something that he can't do with Lifter. And so that's cool. That's, I feel the same way. I feel similarly.
Dave and Christy are absolutely fantastic people. After we did the project, we actually scheduled Zoom meetings just to shoot the crud and have a beverage. I mean, they're just fun people, super fun people. And he's got a kind of a web security hustle that he does as well, I think it's called Dark Scope or something like that. So they're into web security. They've got a couple of Buddy Boss sites, and then they've got the project that you and I had a front row seat to I think it's called KC360. Is it .co, right? KC360.co. Might as well just give them the shout out on the show here. I mean, that's if you're trying to prep a kid to go to college and how to pass SATs and qualify to get into school. You want to go to KC360.co and see what Christy's got for you there. Now, I see more and more people coming into the live. So I just want to reiterate, if you are coming in here and you've got any questions, put those questions in the chat. Will and I can grab those. We can do some screen shares. We can get into some topics and really help you where you're at. That's kind of our goal, is just to add value to people where they are. And that said, we would also like to know who you are and where you're from. Like, it's fun. Sometimes someone says, "Oh, I'm in Spain," or "I'm in Lithuania," or something, and it's just kind of cool. There go my allergies. Everything is growing in Kansas, Will. Everything. And as a kid, I never had allergies. And before I got married, my wife had such bad allergies, she had to go get shots. Like you've heard of people getting shots for allergies. And I would kind of make fun of her, because that's what boyfriends do. I would kind of make fun of her, like, "Oh, you got to go get your shots. You're not strong enough," or whatever. And then we got older. And when we moved to California, I started getting allergies. So that was like 10 years ago. And then, no, that was 2013. Yeah, 11 years ago. And I started getting allergies. I was like, wow, this sucks. And then we moved to Kansas, and I'm like, as soon as the yard started to turn green, man, sinuses and headaches and coughing. I have to take a Halls just to go mountain biking so I can open up my throat and breathe. You don't care.
Awesome. One time I thought I was developing allergies, but it was COVID.
Ever since COVID.
Well, it was like my dad was convinced, like, "No, you're not sick. It's just allergies now that you're living here in the South." And I'm like, it doesn't matter how much allergy medication I took, it wasn't stopping.
They just did a peer-reviewed release like 3 weeks ago, and it didn't get on the news, but it got everywhere else except the news. All of that crud is a lie. Like, Benadryl doesn't do it. Antihistamines, no, they don't do anything to cure allergies or anything. They do nothing. cough medicine is not medicine. Like, and you know, I drank that stuff so much as a kid. I was like, that might be why I like to drink now. But cough medicine is not medicine. They released that whole thing, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. How much money did I spend on my kids raising them, buying that crud over the counter so I could try and sleep at night? All right. That said, how's our day going to go? What can we talk about today?
Oh, I got a few things we can talk about. And also welcome more people jumping in the call. Let us know in the comments where you're calling in from. On the last call, I talked about 3 new things that I haven't talked about before, which is what is the problem you're trying to solve, the solution you're currently using, and where you're currently stuck. I'm starting to like to use that as a framework to figure out what I'm supposed to do as far as answering questions, and where the best place is to get started. So if you're using an LMS already and you're looking to transfer LMS, or you're looking to extend features of your LMS, but you're already at the position where you're scaling your platform via going above one-to-one training by, you know, putting your platform online, being able to promote your content, and then using your time to get your foot in the door in more businesses, more lead generation for your site, you're already there. LifterLMS is a good solution to be able to provide those extendable features and whatnot. And we can let us know in the comments what your industry is, what you're working on, and we could talk through specifically what tools might be worth getting into for you. Or if you already know the industry, are already familiar with words like BuddyBoss and Elementor and some things like that, drop those words in the chat with Lifter, and we'll talk about how Lifter can integrate with your favorite tools and help be a solution for you where you're at. And then it's also good for people getting started. People who are like, I have an ebook. I've sold $100 worth of ebook in the last 4 years, and that's not enough to support my side hustle. It's not enough to support my income and my family and really build the future I want. LifterLMS can be a good solution to be able to like connect to Stripe, make a bunch of digital product offers, see which of those offers are picked up, and then build content as people go. Speaking of that, Chris is jumping in now. And we do have our first comment here in the chat too. And today we are promoting a lifetime deal that today is the last day of. So we might hear some of that as well. How you doing, Chris?
Doing good. Good to see you guys.
Today's the last day of the lifetime deal, brother. What do you got to talk about today?
Well, I'm putting a link in the chat for everybody, but LifterLMS, we're having a lifetime deal. We're having a 3-day sale. So you can get the LifterLMS lifetime deal for 70% off, and it comes with all the software we make now and in the future. You never have future payments. You get access to new products that we create. Will and I were just talking about it in the last call, that over the past year, there have been like 5 new add-ons like Notes, Cohorts, Aircraft, the Page Builder plugin, Advanced Coupons.
Private site.
What's that?
Wasn't the private site came out?
Yep, private site. You know, fairly. I think it was over a year ago, but we released the Sky Pilot theme. So as LifterLMS continues to innovate, which we've been doing for 10 years, you get to benefit from all the future improvements, new add-ons, and there's no fine print. You get access to support. You can come to these the Office Hours Mastermind call, which is happening today in an hour from now or 2 hours from now. So you get the best tools, you get future tools, you don't have to pay again. If your learning platform is here to stay, it's a good investment to make. And I like to do the math of, you know, if you sell a $500 course and you sold 3 of those, you would have broken even on your lifetime license. So even just selling 6 $500 courses, you would get your return on your investment in a lifetime license. And I hope you sell a lot more than just 6 courses. So that's the gist of the lifetime deal.
Nice. And yeah, lifetime access to updates, all the LifterLMS add-ons. You know, usually it's like what is the Infinity Bundle price right now? It's like it's about like 2 to 3 years worth of renewals in the Infinity Bundle price to get that 3 years. So if you're going to be here 2 to 3 years, you know, it's a really good deal to take advantage of, to be able to just have like lifetime and no renewals. But we did have a question.
Building sites for clients. You can put that tool in your tool shed and keep using it and never have to pay for it again. So
yeah,
if you're a site builder, I know a lot of WordPress professionals and website building people like to have their set of tools they like to work with. And it's really nice if some of those they're not getting charged for year after year, year after year.
Yeah, and we did have someone in chat on YouTube trying to figure out how to have a private combo about some of the back end. We sent via email and phone. So I would encourage you to put your questions here in the chat, and we can share our screen, and we can dive into any of the questions you have about LifterLMS. We could share a screen and go through all that. If you are looking for that like one-to-one concierge work, we do have our LifterLMS experts page, which it's funny. Like I was on the call with Chris a minute ago, so we just ended talking about the experts page. And then now we're going to start this call talking about it. LifterLMS.com/experts. You can find Kurt, myself, a bunch of other people. You could find like a ton of experienced LifterLMS users on there who do offer like one-to-one, like freelance agency work, custom development, full site builds, instructional design. Anywhere you're stuck within online courses at all, you can find people on there who can get you unstuck and offer those services. So,
and I'll just go one step further and say, I would bet probably almost 60% of the work I've done off the experts page has actually been training and consulting a DIY person how to use the platform or integrate other tools or do different things. And then of course there's people that are available to actually do the work. So if it's beyond your scope, then there's an avenue to it. When I have my corporate training background with custom websites and stuff, and those were all 6-figure websites or more, and then you come to a DIY environment, sometimes that can feel overwhelming, but you're not by yourself. You can find people that'll help you on a budget and get you going and get you unstuck. What else you want to talk about, Chris? It's so fun to have you here.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
People that don't usually come to the call are probably like, well, is that Chris? Is that really the Chris? Do I get to talk to him for real?
I'm only famous in a very small corner of the internet. Vistu has a thing here about a reasonable monthly fee for add-ons that enhance Lifter, like SkyPilot, additional questions, which means our advanced quizzes add-on. So LifterLMS doesn't have monthly fees. We have the free course software, and then we have individual add-ons that you can get, or you can get some of those in packages or get all of them with the Infinity Bundle. And right now we have the lifetime sale going on, which means everything for life, and that's $2,999 for the lifetime deal. But individual add-ons tend to range from, let's say, 100 to 300, and the bundles range from a couple hundred to 1,500. So it just depends on what you want in terms of what's the best for you. We do have a 30-day 100% money back refund policy. So if you want to try something out and you're not sure, you can always refund if it's not a perfect fit for you. We also have our $1 demo sites where you can test all these things out before you buy as well. So just throwing that out there.
We got a bunch of people. Can you all hear me?
I can hear you.
I had to swap mics for a second. The maintenance people came and started touching the smoke detector in my room. We had a lot of people watching on YouTube. While we don't have any questions really coming in yet, I encourage anyone in the chat to drop any questions you have. We have kind of the 3 best minds around LifterLMS right now on your call. That's not that. Well, there's some other great minds around LifterLMS. I shouldn't say that. The people who will show up on the live calls and talk all the time. You have those 3 people on the call right now. We did have a question about what is the reasonable monthly fee for add-ons that enhance LifterLMS. There's no monthly fee if you buy the lifetime deal. There is just the one time, but LifterLMS does do like the annual subscription stuff. But we do have a lot of people watching on YouTube. YouTube is a great platform to build up like a ramp into your online course. I think Chris actually has a YouTube content masterclass course on our academy. I think that's included in the Infinity Bundle. I don't think that one's a free one, but like Universe or Infinity Bundle customers can get access to the YouTube content system masterclass or something like that, where you can learn how you're going to take the content you've created in your private online course website, promote some of that on the public facing YouTube side of things, and get people from YouTube, from the second most powerful search engine in the world, onto, which I think TikTok might have become one of them, but YouTube is one of the most powerful search engines in the world. Getting those people onto your site when they're looking up solutions, when they're looking up how do I do chiropractic on the floor with two tennis balls and a sock. I would then click the online course in the description and learn how to not mess up my back. So I'm always searching things on YouTube, trying to figure out solutions. And you can promote, and so are a bunch of other people, so you can promote your courses and platforms and solutions there. So not only does LifterLMS have solutions regarding tech and software, but also the soft side of things, like how is our offer structured? How are we pricing our courses? How are we marketing our platform? Like, we ask some of those questions. And Kurt's got a question from Facebook, which looks like it's a good one to dive into.
Yeah, so we had someone from Facebook pop in and say, not sure what I'm doing wrong here, but I only see block visibility settings on some blocks. What am I missing? And I want to be kind of like more transparent. I know that this particular user that submitted this question also submitted a question probably 2 weeks ago that was similar in nature. Well, I think we actually talked about it on one of the calls where they were affecting block visibility, right? When it was available, but when they went to view the page, they weren't seeing the results they expected. And it's because they weren't using the incognito window or understanding the dynamic nature of how these pages and block visibility settings work. So I was kind of hoping you could jump into a screen share and just kind of share some wealth on that, because I know you're pretty confident in that area.
100%. Block visibility, one of my favorite things. It's let's dive into it. So jumping into the WordPress block editor, LifterLMS works very well with the block editor and WordPress out of the box, although you can install page builders like Elementor, Beaver Builder, Divi, and the other ones. If it can edit a post in WordPress, it can edit a LifterLMS lesson or course, because lessons and courses are just post types in WordPress. And if there's not a lot of support for your specific page builder, there's a lot of shortcodes LifterLMS has to offer where you can take all the pieces of LifterLMS and put them into page builders. So there's a lot of extendability that you have there. So talking about block visibility and some of the features LifterLMS has for WordPress out of the box, let's take a look at my about page. It's built with 2 testimonial blocks. How do I read into this? Can I just like detach or manage patterns? What does detach do? That's what I wanted. Okay. So here is kind of a little layout where we have a column, 2 columns, groups within those 2 columns. I love this list navigator here, the document overview, because this would be impossible for me to understand what's going on if I didn't have this. In terms of like, I have a columns block, 2 columns within that block, and the group within each of the columns with 2 little stacks. And then there's a bunch of little shortcodes that I don't know what they do. I think it's stars. I think these are, little star icons. Yes, those little shortcodes generate a star icon. But when we talk about block visibility, what we're talking about is over here on the right side panel, enrollment visibility. It says display to everyone right now. And if you don't see this panel, if you see something like this or something like this, make sure you're clicked on the settings, which is like a little sidebar picture. And that will take you to edit the page where you can move it to trash or change the visibility. But we're going to look at the block specific settings. And I'm currently editing this paragraph block, and you can see it over here on the right-hand side. I have 5 options: everyone, enrolled users, and it's going to say enrolled users in a certain course or membership. I have a lot of different types of visibility I could set up. I could say this is only for visitors. Enrolled users are supposed to see something else, but usually what we will say is like logged in, logged out users, or we could say you must be enrolled in a course to view this paragraph block. And when you don't see block visibility settings everywhere, which I don't either, and I'm not sure why, but that's okay, because any block in WordPress can be wrapped in a group, right? So like a group block does contain block visibility, right? So if I jump to the group right there, the group block, over on the right-hand side, we can see enrollment visibility is present. So if you're editing something like, I don't know which blocks don't contain the block visibility settings. It looks like an accordion does not, because it's a cadence block and it's some third-party thing. So if we take a look at the accordion that I've added here, I don't see block visibility over on the right. But what I could do is group my accordion into a group just by itself. And now I have the enrollment visibility options for anything within that group. So it's sort of like a nested layer that you can use to add enrollment visibility to any block on your site. So if you don't see that option, that's usually what you can do. And I'm just demoing the feature, but a popular use case for block visibility is within course pages. So if we want to say, I want a certain coupon code to show to people who are viewing my course page but are not yet enrolled in my course. So maybe what I would do is install a cool column with some cool styling, like this, or like this. That's intense.
Or like this.
It's got to pop. Coupon code, May 9 lifetime sale. So something like that. That's not a coupon code, but maybe we just say like deal going on now through May 9. So maybe we want to announce something like this. And we don't want our existing students to see this because like they're already enrolled and we don't want them to see this notification. I probably would want higher contrast here. So we're probably going to go text color, like is that white? With this thing I've got on here to flip my colors around, it makes it so like whites are blacks and blacks are white.
Have I mentioned before how much I don't like dark mode?
It's like, it's new, it's cutting edge. There we go, blue. All right, so you'll want to spend some time and make that look a little nicer. But we have this block here that we do not want to show to students, but we do want to show to the pre-sale customer. So what we want to do is say block visibility is to non-enrolled users or visitors. That way, and it gives us a little indication that this block is only visible to non-enrolled users or visitors. So then when I'm viewing as myself, I can see it, right? But as a student, I can't see that. But then as a visitor, I can see it. So there's a perfect use of block visibility and how that works in LifterLMS. And that's included in the free core plugin. Unfortunately, this kind of functionality does not extend to page builders. If you were to activate like an Elementor on your website, you wouldn't be able to use that feature specifically, but there are third-party integrations with Elementor built by third-party companies that do support this kind of thing. Also, you can use shortcodes. There's a hide shortcode that you can use. The shortcodes are a little complicated, but if you're savvy enough to think through the logic of some shortcodes, there is a LifterLMS shortcode that says hide content and only display the content if you're enrolled in a certain membership. But I don't think it has the ability to like only show to logged out users. So that was kind of long-winded, but that's block visibility, one of the coolest features of Lifter. I mean, the coolest features of Lifter are all subjective based on what you're trying to build. But for me, I'm trying to build crazy, weird stuff that like is dynamic and changes based on who's looking at it. So I like the block visibility a lot. But yeah, we did a couple other questions come in. Kurt's got a couple good questions here. It does from Facebook. Do any of you have workflow on how to use LifterLMS? Like which way to do step-by-step flow in writing a course so nothing is missed out for each course you write, containing what you do first and do not miss out. What? Oh, what you do. Oh yeah, what not to miss out. What do you do first?
I felt bad for putting the question in because you already kind of started answering it without even a prompt.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, and that was, you know, those different white papers that Chris would give out during the Black Friday sales and different resources on the site, you know, the course creators checklist, things that you can get in the add-ons and more in the back of the menu. Tons of stuff, plus the Facebook page where the question actually came from.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's really, really interesting to me. I see comments every now and then about every once in a while, especially if we're doing some support or we get some letters in through the support channel on LifterLMS. Someone will say something like, well, you don't understand, you know, our project is much more complicated. It's much more technical. And we need, you know, some type of high level consultation. And the simple reality of it is that we produce a plugin and we have a whole team of experts that we can refer you to for those complicated things. The other thing is, if you have your own developers we have the REST API available that you can plug into. If you have a really strange integration that you want to put together with like Dynamic 365 or connect to some kind of, I did a project last year, Will, and I mentioned it here before, but I'll mention it again. The state of California has a bartender's mandatory certification thing. And so one of our clients has the courses. So what happens is the state sells the course, and that enrollment gets ported via API into his site. The student takes the course, and when they complete the course and get certified, that certification notification gets ported back out to the state. So the state of California has been able to automate that whole process. And the course provider, of course, gets the revenue from each sale of the course. So folks would say, well, that doesn't sound that complicated. But then when you consider there's a CRM on the background, there's marketing, post-sale marketing that happens after the course is completed. I mean, there's all kinds of things there. And so knowing that LifterLMS is flexible enough to have the REST API to plug into, to work with Zapier, to work with WP Fusion, which is one of Will's favorites, WP Automator, Automator WP, whichever that one's called. There are a ton of ways to integrate Lifter and find a way to make it work for your needs.
Totally. And if you're looking at step-by-step flow of writing a course, I mean, from the technical side, we absolutely have some videos on that. As far as like thinking through writing a course strategy, like we do have a few videos on that, and then our podcast episodes are usually great for that. I think we have like the 6-figure 5-plan course build challenge, 5-day 6-figure course plan build challenge. Like the Chris has a course out there. If you just if you type those words into Google or find it on the Academy, that's going to be a good way to structure like the strategy. Can you embed, this is Kurt's question right here, alternative video hosts?
It's not like my question. So the first thing first is, do you want to host videos in your website or not? Because you can. So there's always this resistance with people that are new to the platform or new to WordPress. Just because WordPress lets you do something doesn't mean you should do it. Just because, a perfect example, right? It's like, just because you bought the Infinity bundle with LifterLMS doesn't necessarily mean you should activate each feature from the Infinity bundle, right? Really good websites and really good web builds mean that you leverage the tools that you need and get the best performance for your user. And so you don't want to use your WordPress website to host the videos inside the site. You want your videos somewhere else, something that is optimized for video that provides a good resource that way. So YouTube obviously is a platform that is optimized for, Will's just having a good time, I think, moving me around on the screen. But obviously YouTube is a platform that's optimized for video playback. So yeah, absolutely, you can embed YouTube into your website. But what if you don't want to have stuff that's open to the public on the public YouTube search feature? So in that instance, absolutely, Vimeo and Wistia would be the two most recommended sources that LifterLMS would point out to you. A lot of our features, like the featured video link, works with the three, YouTube, Vimeo, or Wistia, and our advanced videos add-on also works with any of those three, YouTube, Vimeo, or Wistia. However, you're not limited to just that type of video in your website. Being in WordPress, you can embed any content in your website. So you could do H5P with video, with an interactive video. You could put SCORM content in with using like Grassblade. I use Adillo, which is a lifetime, I'm a sucker for a lifetime deal. So I personally use Adillo to host a lot of my videos. And then I just use the custom HTML feature in WordPress to load that embed code in. Now, one of the things I like about using direct embeds instead of the featured video links is because I get more control over the design and the responsive nature of it. So when I use the featured video link, for example, in LifterLMS, typically with most themes, it's going to be a big video at the top of the lesson. However, if I wanted to have like a heading and a byline kind of centered next to a smaller video, then I could just put that content right in there and it'll size accordingly and be responsive in the theme.
What I was trying to do is get this screenshot, but then this virtual background thing doesn't work without like a green screen. It's got all this junk in my background like coming in.
This
is what happens when... Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh no, so this is what happens when Chris moves off screen. Can you enforce full viewership of a video in Lifter if they're hosted on a third party?
Yeah, that's the advanced videos thing I was talking about. So you want to be on one of those three that you had mentioned, Paul, and that is YouTube, Vimeo, or Wistia. Now I'm just going to be dangerously like spicy at the moment, and I'm just going to tell you, out of those three, I would probably pick Vimeo. Wistia seems to be a little more pricey. But if your volume goes up, if your bandwidth goes up, and you go over Vimeo's limits, Vimeo will surprise you with a large invoice. That's fair. Isn't that fair?
Yeah.
But in all respects, if you're selling content, you shouldn't be surprised that other people want to get paid when you make money. So that's one of those things where to exceed Vimeo's standards for bandwidth, you would have to have a lot of active users and a lot of content. So in theory, if you had a lot of users and a lot of active content, you would also have a lot of revenue. And so that would be factored in for you as one of those business expenses, and hopefully you'd be prepared for that. But yeah, YouTube, Vimeo, or Wistia would be the three that you want to consider for using advanced videos with LifterLMS.
I am trying to see, I don't know. I was trying to look into the code to see if there's a code solution there. Like, so, I mean, LifterLMS Advanced Videos is just code to integrate with those three tools: YouTube, Vimeo, Vimeo, Wistia. I've been talking now for like an hour and a half, waking up early and not eating any food. But yeah, so it's just custom code from Lifter in the form of an add-on, right? So you can apply this to like other video hosts as well. It's just, I was looking at the code to be like, is there a way that you can just like to easily apply this? And it's a challenge because the integration includes reading the progress of the video file. So it has to know what the video host is, know how to like place cookies based on the progress of that video host, and like know like, oh, so they've hit the 10-second mark, 20-second mark. Like write down timestamps from that video host requires a specific integration, and then store that information in Lifter. So it's definitely possible with custom code, as everything is possible with custom code. LifterLMS provides an out-of-the-box solution, advanced videos, that works with 3 platforms: YouTube, Vimeo, Wistia. But the code in Lifter is easily extendable. The advanced videos code is kind of complicated and video host specific. But if you hire someone on the LifterLMS experts page, as we've been talking about all call, there's probably some kind of solution out there if you're working at that kind of enterprise level where you're looking for the solution and you're willing to put in that kind of custom development work. And Paul also needs to disallow fast forwarding through the video. Would that be done by Lifter or the video host? That would be done by Lifter Advanced Videos. And that works with the 3 hosts we've talked about. I don't know if this is still a thing, but I feel like someone highlighted that like you can hotkey through the video and use like the arrow forward, arrow backward, even though the video controls are missing. I don't know
think
if
you still can, yeah.
Okay, so that's, I mean, I don't know. I was just trying to unsell advanced videos, but like I want to full disclosure. Like I think students could still think about hotkeying through the video. But there's like, I guess I could show what that looks like. So I have advanced videos on this demo site here. So jumping to the back end, jumping into a course and taking a look at what the settings are here. If we jump into integrations, I have LifterLMS Advanced Videos installed and activated. So you can see the Advanced Videos gives me 3 integrations. Let me see what my site videos are hosted on. What is LifterLMS? Let's see. So this is a YouTube. Okay. So let's turn on the YouTube integration.
You can do it.
We can do it. So we want to disable player controls. Let's do that first. So reload. There we go. So you can see the player controls they look a little bit different. So I can't click in here anymore, but I think, can I hotkey? I can't hotkey. It's not working. That might have been fixed.
Someone complained about it last week, so maybe it is.
Yeah, so it's not allowing me to hotkey. Maybe it's a Vimeo thing, maybe it's a Wistia thing, but like on YouTube, it's not letting me hotkey through this video right now. So that is awesome. Another feature of advanced videos is disabling full screen. I don't really know when we would need that, but we can also change the color scheme from red to white for YouTube. And advanced videos does another thing. So we have video progression settings. Require video completion is the one we were talking about, where we check that box, we save changes. I can click the mark complete button now without watching the video. It doesn't matter if I watch the video or not. But now that I've enabled that checkbox, I can't click mark complete. You can see the button is sort of grayed out to where like I'm clicking on this and it's doing nothing. What I need to do is let this video play to completion. It's got like 10 more seconds. Two seconds left. So now the mark complete button lights up and I can go ahead and click it. So it restricts the video playability and, or not playability, but ability to fast forward, in addition to making that mark complete button hidden until you have completed the video. Is advanced videos included in the Infinity Bundle? It is. The lifetime deal, yeah. So it's one of those products in the Infinity Bundle. So that is in that lifetime deal. Let's see. I'm a bit confused about how to start. I'm always confused. Since I do not want to start with a course, I have a sales page already created. On it, I want to have a form where a subscriber or partner form for monthly donation for a specified amount with a minimum. I'm not. So if there's no content being given, it's just kind of like a donation. Give WP is probably what I'd recommend.
I was waiting to see how this one would go.
I mean, if you're just looking to collect donations, LifterLMS is not really a donation-oriented plugin, but there is a donation plugin for WordPress, a few of them, and Give WP, I think it's the flagship one, is owned by Stellar WP, and they also own LearnDash. But Give WP is like the de facto donation plugin. I had it on my website for a while and I received 0 donations. So then I took it off my website. People said like, oh, you make great tutorials. I wish I could give you money. Like, you don't have any donation button? And then I added it. Nobody used it. So I'm like, okay. But Give WP, I think it's a free core plugin. I think it integrates with Stripe for free. So I think that's one where you could get started 100% for free on, I think recurring donations might be paid, but one-time donations are free. So that's a good one to get into if you're not looking to deliver content, you're only looking for donations, and maybe a free email list or something like that that has donation-based funding.
Yeah, this particular question screams to me of use case where I just want to start building my community, and then as my community builds, I'll add a course. So if that's the case, you could use Lifter in that instance, and you could use the membership tool to restrict content to, some kind of content page that you give people access to. That could happen. But I'm kind of with Will on this one. If you're really just looking to generate donations or kickbacks of some type, there are so many other tools out there without adding the weight or the complication of a membership and learning site platform to it. That said, the LifterLMS membership tools are really quite good. The native payment gateway in Lifter is awesome. And if you hooked it up to Stripe, you would be able to have people do that. But when you get into the donation realm, you start needing to have the ability to adjust the price, let people put in their own dollar amount. And so then it's almost like wanting to go backwards into the WooCommerce world and looking at some of the WooCommerce add-ons for, name your price and things like that you can do.
Absolutely.
Ready for another one?
I'm good for another one. I just wanted to mention real quick, with donations, I do know someone who's done something where they're like, I want to have choose your own pricing in Lifter. And so what they did is there's a few different ways you could do this. You could have a coupon code where it's like you have certain percentage off $1,000 course. You can use 10% up to 90% coupon codes to choose your own price. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it would be to have a pre-sale page that's choose your own price, where it's like select your donation amount monthly. And so it's just like 9 buttons, $100 a month, $5 a month, $10 a month, whatever. You just add a bunch of buttons to your page, and those all link to different access plans. That's another way to do it. So it's choose your own price, but it's, it kind of works. You kind of have to choose from some brackets by just looking at like 6 buttons on a page and choosing which price you're going to go with for the same course. Because we talk about that, where it's like you can have a one-time payment, or you can have a recurring payment, like a 3-time payment or something. But it's like, well, you could just have like a monthly payment. One is $10 a month, one is $20, one is $30 a month for the same course, so people can do it that way. I hadn't thought about that before. We have a question about the plugin. Are we able to limit the course, the client bot, to be accessible for a limited time? 100%. LifterLMS has that feature built in out of the box, and every single course membership you have, that feature I was talking about with access plans, I could demo now, and that answers this question as well. Diving into each course page, opening the access plans, access expiration expires after 1 year, 2 weeks. You can do 2 days, 1 day of access. You can really do a lot of things with this. I know some people who've done, I think last week we were talking about pay-per-view kinds of things, of creating a video library with LifterLMS. So if you are creating a video library and you want to do a pay-per-view setup, you could do 1 day of access for like $24, or like lifetime access for $100. Or YouTube, what's the pricing on YouTube movies? It's like $7 to buy or rent, and then like $15 to own. So it's like lifetime access in our access plan would be $15. And the 1 day access would be, this should be buy.
And I got to put you on full screen. I can't even see it. There we go.
Can't even see it.
There it goes.
I could zoom in a little more.
Because you're on dark mode.
My dark mode.
I'm blind.
This is so much easier on my eyes. But I guess the reason is like hard to see. Expires after 1 day. So we basically have $7 1 day access, or buy lifetime access for $15. Now, traditionally with courses and memberships, we're not going to be doing this kind of like 1 day access, but you could say rent for a week, rent for a month. You could do that kind of a setup. But buy or rent is a popular thing, especially for people creating paid libraries. So that's something to know about too. And then you could also sell a monthly membership, which is like, okay, for $30 a month, you get access to everything on the platform just for the $30 a month fee. So it's like, okay, buy individual things, rent individual things, or buy the membership to get everything on a monthly basis. That's kind of like a Netflix mixed with YouTube kind of thing.
Yeah. And then this question kind of harkens back to like the idea of cohorts. So if the idea was a group of students going through a course at the same time, you would have a start date and an end date to your course.
Yeah.
Shazam. We got a follow-up question. Look at that. From VSTU. Is advanced videos included in the Infinity Bundle deal? Yes, it is. Rock and roll. That was an easy answer. Boom. This is almost like the last question, right? So I have someone who has completed a course and would still like to access the resources of the course. How can she do this? I've never not, so I don't know how you do it, Will. I know that for me, if I'm selling a course, they have access to the course, like forever. I mean, like if I sell a one-time access, so if they take the course, they can take it again. They can look at the resources. They can download resources if they're download links. I don't really lock people out. If it's a cohort and it's meant to be like a 7-day challenge or a 10-day challenge, and I'm running it as a cohort in my site, well then, yeah, that expires. And then if you're saying, well, how do I give someone access to that? I guess that's an interesting question. How would you give a one-off student access to something that's already closed out?
If it's tied to a cohort, that's complicated, right? Because the access dates in Lifter, like what Kurt's talking about here, is in the restriction settings on each course. So you say like course time period. Usually cohorts will have this. So if you're past the course end date, you can't access the course content anymore. So I would probably have some kind of system in the organization to handle things like this. So like if you had like a lifetime content course and then you had like the cohort course, people could they're taking the course with their cohort and then they could be enrolled into a separate course that's evergreen. That's probably what I would do. You can do this by cloning the course and having it be evergreen. I'm not really sure what the offer is or what the structure of the business is, but just clone the course and make an evergreen copy and put people in that course if they want to have that lifetime access. And maybe you could even do it automatically. And then in that course, you could even have offers to join other courses where it's like, oh, this is the lifetime access course. And then you promote to that list and say, hey, we're doing another cohort. Do you want to join? That kind of thing.
We're doing another cohort.
Doing it again.
We're putting the band back together.
Yeah, that's like those life coaching courses. People do those on repeat all the time. Like Tony Robbins, people go to those events over and over and over again. It's not necessarily one and done. So like you could teach the same people the same thing a bunch of times.
Yep. There's I'm John Maxwell certified, and there's a lot of folks that will go through like a yearly kind of like a re-up on that, just to kind of go through things again and make sure they're sharp.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it doesn't just have to apply to continuing education where it's like required by your job that you do that. You can like set up your automated CRM system with a MailChimp or ConvertKit or Groundhog or Fluent CRM and just re-promote your courses each year. Maybe with some updated content, maybe with a new intro video of you for the year. Or as you iterate on your course content, you could announce those things that are new to your users and kind of treat it as an evergreen thing. It's like watching a movie. I watch the same movie 10 times over just because like I'll find a movie I like and I'll keep watching it. And I think course creators can do the same thing, is like create a course that's rewatchable. Paul asked that question. Can I use Lifter to host YouTube videos as unlisted? That violates YouTube's guidelines, and so they can shut down your channel. But like I've never heard anybody get their channel shut down. So like I know people who use unlisted videos and host it in their Lifter site, but it's like you're playing with fire a little bit because YouTube has a policy that says like you can't have unlisted videos and then sell access to those videos elsewhere. And so like if they find out that that's what you're doing, they could shut down your channel, but like they probably won't. So like I don't know if you have, but now that I'm saying this on a YouTube stream, maybe they'll flag it. But I think
Google's always listening, bro. They're always listening.
And they are. And so if you have a backup on your computer of all your videos and your YouTube channel is not important to the marketing side of your business, like I'm not going to promote breaking the TOS, but like you probably do it with low consequences.
I think the main thing there is selling access. Like if it's a free course, it's fine, go for it. But if you're actually making money, you might as well get on something like Vimeo Pro. And I think that's somewhere around $200 a year. And it has more privacy protection than an unlisted YouTube video, which can technically be still shared if somebody knows what the URL is.
Yeah. And I think like even if you're exchanging emails for videos of like you need to sign up to my website, I think that still violates it. Like, but if it's actually publicly distributable and like direct email, like without exchange of anything, like you're not there's no profit or gain to the business who's using YouTube unlisted, then you could do it. But let's jump here. I have the Infinity Bundle. Welcome, Karen.
We'll see you in an hour.
Yeah, one hour from now. I don't know what time it is. So it's 11 a.m. now, so it would be 12 p.m. Pacific or 3 p.m. Eastern. We'll be live in office hours, so you can come join a Zoom with me and Kurt, and I think Chris is going to be there today. and talk about any tech strategy, just hangout questions in Zoom. So I use BuddyPress, I use Gravity Forms, and Task Builder. I haven't heard of that one, but I need each user to have a task list that they can control. Each takes 3 courses together and then takes a job-specific course. Takes 3 courses together. So maybe that would be something like a course track for 3 courses together. Like a feature that not many people know about in Lifter, not many people take a look at, is this item under courses called tracks. This is where you could create like a degree program, or you want to say like pre-training, like this is a job specific thing. So you say pre-training, add course track. And so we would include 3 courses in our pre-training track, like these 3 right here. And then once you, can I do tracks from this menu? Is it? No, I can. Look at that. Okay, course track. So I can update. So now all of these courses, they're a part of the track, pre-training. So you have to take these 3 courses, and then you might get a certificate. You might get some kind of an engagement to where you can then go ahead and take your job-specific course. Maybe what would happen is you take the pre-training course, you complete the course track, a LifterLMS engagement email is triggered to send them an email once they complete the track that says, hey, congratulations, now I want you to visit this page and select your job-specific course. So then it would create that kind of flow within Lifter. As far as a task builder, I've never used Task Builder, but we can dive into that in a second. But I think that's a good way to create like the 3 courses, then a job specific course. But so I think, like, I'm not sure exactly what you're looking for with Task Builder. I assume it's kind of like where you'd put your 3 courses for your job training plus the one that you're going to do for your specific job in a list, and then have kind of a checklist.
LifterLMS also has a task list assignment type that you could add so that people kind of complete the tasks as they go as assignments. So that's something that's available as a feature in LifterLMS assignments.
But yeah, I guess Karen, do you think you could fill us in on some more information about what the interaction with that list looks like, and like what the purpose of that is? We might be able to provide a more specific solution. But I like tracks. Like you said, I don't know what to do first, second, or third. Is it? Oh, so like they don't know what to do for second. Okay, so that's a cool example, and I like to talk about random rabbit holes. So let's talk about the student dashboard page for a second. Customizing the student dashboard page is something that I love to do. Usually in LifterLMS, I'll zoom in a little bit. There is just a shortcode right here on this page. There's not really anything else that goes on. A shortcode generates all of the content here for like the sidebar and everything. But if you do have a website that needs more content on here, what you might be able to do is use that block visibility thing we talked about earlier, where we put like a columns block on this page, and then I'm going to make the block visibility for like logged in users. So this would be, what did I do? Go over here, columns. I want this to be like 100% width column. Why is it not 100% width? 100%.
It's probably the parent column above it.
One column. I'll just do this for now. We'll do a heading or a paragraph. This will say task list. And then what we can do is, what would we put in here? Like, we would probably format this better than what I'm doing. You could spend like, put a couple boxes on here and say, take course 1. Course 1. And then here's the button that links to course 1. Boom, something like that. So then I'll show you this as a demo, and then we'll kind of cut into how we could format this a little bit better. So what we would do is kind of assemble a task list, and we would probably actually want this to be formatted a little bit differently, where we'd have like a border on this. Is the border like a 2 pixel? Oh, that's the border color, 2 pixels, and like some kind of color update. So we're sort of assembling this little task list area at the top of our dashboard. And the fun thing we can do with this is say, let's go under the button and have a little picture. that says like, well, I don't know. I would do like a little thumbs up picture or something like that. We have a thumbs up picture on here, don't we? Have a image for the engagement. I thought there was like a little thumb up. Okay, you know what? This is good. The flag. All right, so then we'll use the flag, and then we will say, I don't know. So you take some time and format this better than what I'm doing, but you've completed step 1. You know, step 1, and then we will say that this is going to be to enroll users in. Like, so you could enroll people in the next, like the subsequent course, like at the end of each course. So you would say, because can't I say, yeah, enrolled users in in any of the selected courses or membership. So this would be course 2. So I haven't created course 1, 2, and 3, but what you would do is say this block is visible to users enrolled in step 2. This is also visible to users enrolled in step 2. So what happens is you see the task list the whole time, but you get these little notifications when you enroll in the next course. So once you enroll into course 2, you'll see the completed course 1 message. Once you enroll into course 3, you'll see the completed course 2 message. And then you can use LifterLMS course prerequisites to have you do course 1, 2, 3, and then eventually the specific job training course. You can kind of do that thing on the dashboard. That's just a kind of a random idea around how to do that. Each job has a list of tasks to do, so I need each person to get the right group courses or task list. So you could create some complex task lists and have like a membership for each different type of job, and then that membership kind of triggers this like enroll into course 1, and then it triggers the messages to roll into course 2, and then finally like the final course in that membership is the course specific to that job. So maybe you could use memberships to group your courses by membership into job type, and then use kind of a custom task list on the dashboard or something to allow people to kind of move through that membership. It doesn't have to be on the dashboard. It could be on the membership page. A bunch of different ways to do that.
I just want to add, Karen, I was reading through your questions there, and Gravity View, which is a plugin that displays Gravity Forms data in a particular view on the front end of the website, could be useful here if they're completing certain Gravity forms that then complete a view of tasks completed. And Gravity View just released tight integration with the LifterLMS dashboard. So you could have like a My Task List area in the dashboard and have the view for that's pulling data from the certain membership or group of users or whatever. So there might be something there for you to explore as well. And we just did a podcast with Zach Katz, the founder of Gravity View, and we talked through exactly how that worked in an episode on LMS Cast. I'll drop a link to that as well. And I put a link to the Gravity View documentation on how to integrate those form entries and views into your student dashboard at an endpoint that shows up there.
All right. Well, we've only got a minute and a half left, gentlemen. So are we going to talk about the lifetime deal one more time before we end the broadcast?
I think we should. Let me first ask you a question, Kurt. How many years have you used LifterLMS?
I keep forgetting. So if Lifter's 10, then I've been using it for 9.
Okay. So sometimes this is where a lifetime deal is really valuable, because if your learning platform is here to stay, if you know you're going to be using this tool for a long time, maybe across multiple projects or multiple client projects, the lifetime deal really makes sense. LifterLMS out of the box makes sense because we give away a lot for free. We do annual subscriptions instead of monthly subscriptions. We have unlimited, courses, instructors, sales, all that stuff that you don't get billed for. But if you're here to stay and you don't want to have to pay for your software again, you want to have free access to future products that we release, you want the best support in the industry like we provide, ongoing with your just pay us once license, that is what the LifterLMS lifetime license is for. And we've been doing this for 10 years. Kurt's been with us for 9. And think about the next 10 years. So imagine using a tool that's not going anywhere. WordPress powers 45% of the internet or whatever. And Lifter is continuing to innovate the amount of stuff we've made in the past 10 years to help you build the most customizable LMS is only going to get better over time. So invest in your lifetime license today. It's at LifterLMS.com/lifetime. And this is the last day of the sale. So if you want to pick up that lifetime license at a big discount, today's the day to take action on that.
All right. And with that, I think we're just going to give a wave to the audience and say goodbye.